Sup? So, I just woke up. I literally went to make some coffee, and I thought I would make like a video recording of a dream I just had. And I've never done this before, and the only reason I'm doing it is because it was so hard-hitting. I've never had this type of dream before. When I dream, I rarely dream, and when I do dream, they normally be like the same 3 types of dreams that I've had for most of my life. And if I do dream, I don't remember it when I wake up. And sometimes I only remember parts of it. But this dream was different. It seemed to go in 4 different parts. So there were like 4 separate stories that like merged together to form this long dream that felt about an hour long. And it felt really real. It wasn't a lucid dream. For those of you that don't know what a lucid dream is, I suggest you Google it. Any Google search will do a better job of me explaining it. What happened was the first part seemed to be based around me with school friends. I had no idea, I wasn't aware that I was dreaming at this point. Sometimes you know that you're aware that you're dreaming, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can't take control of it. You're just like, it feels like something's, it's like when you feel like someone's looking at you. That's the best way I can describe it. That's what it feels like when you know that you're dreaming. You know something's up, but you're too busy focused on what's going on. Anyway, so the first part of the dream was where I was with school friends, and there was a competition or something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember that like I was in this building with a lot of other friends, and food was involved somehow. And we would go upstairs and downstairs, and there was lots of shouting and lots of laughter. And I think I won, because I remember going upstairs and then going down, like expecting for there to be loads of people to cheer me on. And there was like 5 dudes, 5 friends, all friends from, by the way, high school in 2005. So people I don't even talk to anymore, apart from one person that I met at PAX East again after like 8 years of not seeing him. And then I went downstairs, and then there was everyone. And then they all picked me up and cheered me on, and they took me to this section. It seemed like it was at the back of the building. The back of the building seemed to like, almost as if it was a curve. Like if you imagine like this being the building from above, like here's the front, here's the back. It looked as if someone like cut the corner off like that, like a swoop. A perfect example is on Dishonored, when you dream at the beginning of the game and you walk out of your room, open the door, and then there's like a hole in the wall, and then there's like this dream space. It's very similar to that, but instead of it being a dream space area, there was a graveyard. And my friend, I don't know who it was, in the dream it was my friend. Sorry if I'm adjusting my eyes, I literally have just woken up. My friend had died. I don't know who it was. There was no facial recognition. And we were going to bury him. And he was of a different religion, some made-up religion that wasn't established, but it was accepted without question in the dream. I feel that that's like one of those things that like is in films can just resolve like a question that you would compare a film to reality. Say like if there's a film about people in space and they're not wearing spacesuits, and people will be like, well, why aren't they wearing spacesuits out in space? The vacuum would kill them within minutes. A quick resolve for that is like, oh, they take anti-vacuum space pills. You know, because it's a film, that can be said, you know, it's because it's not reality, it's science fiction. Straight away you've resolved that issue just by a simple one-liner. And I'm getting off topic here, but like, this is what this was with in regards to how this person was buried in accordance with their religion. And the burial process was to place the body in a glass, a very thick glass, bulbous shaped type. It almost looked like a beaker with a test tube coming out the top. Anyway, it was a glass container with a big tube coming out the top, and the tube, it reminded me of the tip of the e-cigarette. Now on the e-cigarette tip, you won't be able to see it yourself, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere. There's a hole, right? You can see the hole there. That's where you put the vapor liquid. And on the other side is obviously the hole where you breathe it out. So, but if I were to do this, it's right now it's empty. Let me just fill it up real quick because it needs to be filled up anyway. If I were to fill it just a bit, so I can show you. Oh, I filled it way too much, but whatever. Actually, that's not whatever. So that's full of liquid now. See that? I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, there's a little bubble there. But there's a hole at the bottom. And the liquid never comes out of that. So that's the type of imagination. I don't know what that's called or if there's a specific... I just filled the wrong fucking thing. Well, that's not good. I'm gonna leave that out. Actually, it doesn't even matter. That's what I imagine this tube to be like. There's a hole at the top, but you can never... the liquid would never come out of it. Anyway, I'm going completely off topic here. So then we watched him be buried, and then there was this 10-foot long tube that came out of it, and you could see the water rising. So the water was rising, like, because it was a glass tube, and it was like as if I can't describe it, but you would see the water rising. You wouldn't be able to touch it. It wasn't going to come out, and the water was like mixed with rotting flesh. Like he'd already started to decompose and stuff, and blood and plasma and dark blood clots and bits of flesh, and like I noticed a tooth flowing, and it was disgusting. Like. And this is where the dream starts getting really dark, but it comes back up to be nice. I remember like smelling it and feeling sick. I remember feeling physically sick, which has never happened in a dream. And I went and I told my mom, and she just suddenly appeared. You know how that stuff happens in dreams. And she went over there, and I was talking to my dad about planes now for some reason. And then I went back to the graveyard at the back of the house, or the building rather. All my friends have gone since this. The dreams are completely random, you understand. And my mom came out from further past the graveyard. She's like, I've just been sick. And I was like, what? Because of the body? She's like, yeah, it smells, don't go over there. And then my gran, she was there too. My gran's like, oh, you need to take Tay and Oliver to somewhere. I forget what she said. She said something along those lines. And then we found a cat, and we started running away from these bugs and stuff. And I forget, it's ridiculous how the transition goes from the second part of the dream, because that was the second part, by the way. The first part is where I was with school friends. The second part is where this person was buried. The third part is where I was at like a convention with a cat, and Tay was working at a stall there, like selling stuff, like working as a clerk. And I went around looking at stuff, and I found like knives and there was different things on the walls, and there was games and stuff. And then it's really weird because like I walked up to this one part, and we were about to leave, and I was like, wait a second, I gotta get this. And there was like a big bowl of Sacriel. If you don't know who Sacriel is, he's a streamer that plays Arma 2 and Arma 3 primarily, and other indie games such as FTL. and there was a big bowl of his merchandise. You know, those badges that say the 42nd. And I was like, I have to get like a couple of these. So I grabbed like 2 badges. There was these stupid ass like truck driver caps with 42 on them. I was like, no, I'm not fucking getting them shit. I got 2 badges and then something else. And I wanted to buy it. And the clerk, I hadn't seen Tay at this time. She was like behind, like I hadn't seen her yet. I knew that she was there somewhere. And the clerk was like, you can't buy this because you're carrying a cat. I was like, yeah, well, I didn't. The only reason the cat's here is because the cat's sick, and I didn't want to leave her in the car or something, something like that. And he's like, well, you got to take that cat out before you can buy this. So it's like, okay, well, here's the money. Let me buy this first, and it'll be fine. And he wouldn't accept the money. So I was like, okay, fine. There's the money, and there's some more. And I walked out. He's like, you can't do that. The alarm went off because I walked past it with the stuff in my hand that hadn't been paid for, and the guard pushed me back and said, hey, you gotta do this. I was like, well, this fucking jerk's being a dick, come explain it to him. And then he talked to the other guard, and then I saw that Tay was there, and I was like, wait, I'm gonna buy it for her, like from her. And I gave the stuff that I had for her to buy. And she accepted it fine, and then I don't know how we transitioned to it, but then I was walking with people. That was the third part of the dream. This is the last part of the dream here. I was walking with people as like a squad in the forest somewhere, and a burst of gunfire went past and killed like 5 guys around me, and I instantly dropped to the ground, not because I was like shot or because I was killed, but because I wanted to pretend to be dead because I didn't know where it come from. I thought that was like the logical thing to do. And I was like on my side, like looking, I could see 3 people's faces. One was on someone's chest. The person whose chest the head was on was facing me too, like this. So they were both facing me. And then there was a head here facing me, and the head that was here had like this part exploded off, and I won't spoil, but I'm pretty sure that was from a film that I watched recently with Ellen Page, the other people had blood coming out of their mouth, and I remained quiet, and I saw people like scurrying around in my peripheral visions, and I knew they were like part of like my team because of the guns. They all had like M4s and shit, M4A1s, and then the fire had stopped, all the shooting had stopped. And then I heard English voices, so I was like, hey, got it. And then we started walking again, and then I turned around and I saw like people that didn't look like us, like they didn't have the same clothes as us, and they were coming down this long hill. And you gotta remember, this is like in a forest, so it's like turn around, there's trees and shit, I couldn't really see in the distance. And they started running as they saw us, and I was like, oh fuck, we gotta go. And like we started running too. And I was at the back with like 5 other guys, and instead of us, Diction was there too. Instead of us going straight with everyone else, we went off into this plant, which was like, it felt like some sort of a storage unit for some product or whatever that was like industrial or agricultural or something like that, and we run into the main entrance, and there's like, I know there's an Asian dude with no hair, there's a guy like Diction who had a face that reminded, and a voice that reminded me of Diction, and that's it. I don't really remember anyone else. And then so we walked in, and we all have gun, like I've got an AK-47 now for some reason from going from an M4. And there's instantly people are like there, like shooting, and like I'm like shooting them, one-shotting them and stuff. And we're going through, And then the Asian guy, as we head toward out of the facility, the Asian guy's like, he sees two people, and he runs over to them because they're reloading their like mounted MG42 or something. He runs over them and he gets like two fucking shuriken blades or whatever they're called, like the ones that are like straight and then they have like a sort of a loop. They look like a hook almost, like it's very bulbous on this end. I don't know, probably they're just called machetes or something. And you see him like they're like half over this wall at that current time. And you see him jump over and he just starts hacking away at them. And then some guy like out of nowhere behind this wall just comes over, pops him in the side of like the arm. He drops, and then the guy pulls a blade out and starts stabbing him repeatedly. And I run over and I drop kick him, and then I put a bullet in his head. And then I look at my Asian friend and he's like bleeding out of his mouth, blood coming out of his wounds, and he's like, "End this for me, like please, ease my suffering." And so I grabbed like a machete, or whatever he had, and the worst place I can imagine, I jab it into his head. Not like that, but like uppercut, so that it goes in right here, in between the teeth, and comes out here. And then he's just like, and he's still alive. And it was horrible, because I was like, I felt it. I felt the friction of it, like it's stopping like within inches of me putting it in. I felt the feeling of it going through like a skull. Like I don't know what that is. Like in my dreams, brain decided for me what that feeling was. The sound of like the teeth separating and crunching, and the upper jaw being pierced with this machete, and it coming out of the skull. And he was still alive, and he called me a faggot. He's like, "Do better, faggot." And then we walked up this hill to come out the other side of the facility. And then I woke up. And I woke up feeling sick, like feeling as if I'm about to be sick. So I sat up and like I took a deep breath, and it was like, the first thing I did was tweet this out. Like I tweeted this out like 30 minutes ago. I think after feeling sick, it was more like I felt like I was gonna die, which probably doesn't make sense, considering I sat up and the room was light and my fan is on and I'm peaceful, like it's comfy. But I felt like, okay, someone's about to break in through my door and like put a blade through my fucking head. I think my brain was convinced so much that after all that had gone on in that dream that like I was about to die or something. I don't know. It was really strange. And then I literally went on Tumblr, I'd searched cats. And then I started to smile and feel a bit better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for my dream. But I really thought that I would like create a video for it. What I've wanted to do for a while is create like a video log of all my dreams rather than writing them down. I'm aware of what lucid dreaming is. I'm aware of how to practice lucid dreaming, and this is one way of building up that knowledge of like trying to remember dreams, to make them more permanent memory rather than like, how the fuck does that dream start again? Yeah, I guess I thought I'd do this, and it's thoroughly interesting, especially to me, considering that like I rarely dream up a unique experience like this. To others, you have a different mind, a different setup, and a complete different life, so your dreams might be like this all the time, or you may have like original dreams like every single night. Me, I always dream of the same few things. I'm not going to go into that because this video is already really long. But yeah, so I thought I would keep a documentary on it, and seeing the fact that like the other day with that video I uploaded, the update, people enjoyed that, so I thought, well, why not make like another video like that, I guess. And this just happened, and it's like a perfect topic, so So yeah, I hope you. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. To end it. I hope that was interesting, to say the least. Yeah, I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna watch some more cat videos and have some breakfast to feel better, even though it's 3:13 in the afternoon. I'll see you guys later.